All right, we're live.
Thank you, Mansoor. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the end of the year special. This is our last community event of the year, but we will be back in a few weeks, so there's nothing to worry about. We have live product related events every single Tuesday. So we are streaming this event through YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitch. If you would like to spread the product knowledge, you can share this stream on social media, on your social media channels, so that friends and colleagues can also benefit from this serious talk. If you are on Zoom with us, please be aware that this is streamed, recorded, and uploaded to our social media channels. So if you don't want your face to be visible, don't forget to turn off the camera. But if you don't really care, keep it on because it's a lot better. Today, we will have a very unusual talk. It's full of honesty, fun, and insights. And it's presented by the CPO of Offerista group, who's presenting product BS, sniff it before you are fed it. But before we hand it over to Abdo, I'll quickly introduce myself. I'll be your host for today's event. I'm Effie. I have 7 years of experience as digital and growth marketeer in corporate and small startups. In early 2020, I transitioned to product management, and I actually didn't know it. But now, thanks to product people and the opportunity they gave me, I could say that I'm formally a product manager, and I've been working in multiple projects since I joined the company for around 8 months. But what do we do at Product People? We help companies of different sizes and industries to discover and deliver products faster. We are interim product managers, which means that we usually have client engagements between 3 to 36 months. It could vary. We onboard fast and align teams and deliver outcomes. We also share product-related knowledge and contribute to our and overall product community with our weekly live events led by thought leaders and industry experts. We are also happy to say that we're already 7,000 members, and it's all our growth, it's because of you and for you. And these are some of our B2C clients from different industries. I could say mobility, e-commerce, fintech, fitness, healthcare, and travel, to name a few. I'm pretty sure you know most of these companies, especially if you are located in Germany and within Europe, like Zalando, Omio, Freeletics, Tier, and Wisher. So now let's proceed to do this poll. I really would like to know about your answers. What do you think about these questions? It's really fun poll, so please submit your answers to the pop-up that you will see on Zoom or in the chats from the platform you're watching us. While you do so, I will give you a bit of time and I will quickly go through the questions. So the first question is, what is the most common type of product BS that you hear, read, or see. The first option is this feature is on the roadmap because the CEO wants it. I've heard so many times. Second one is Huawei has these features, so we should too. I also have heard this. We should implement blockchain, machine learning, and microservices. Product owner versus product management. Product manager, lean versus agile. We need to increase our monthly active users and net promoter score, etc. I start every day at 5 a.m. with a short 1-hour meditation. You should try this as well. And if you have other BS things that you have heard, please share in the comments or in the chat. Second one is, how do you avoid or deal with such BS? First one is ignore it and deal with my own BS. Lock myself in a room and cry. This happens. Shout into my pillow, or probably your dog. Share with your friends who deal with similar BS, or actually nothing. Just keep paddling through the storm, or facepalm. So let's see if we have some, oops.
I'm going to give a couple of more seconds for everyone to be able to cast in their votes on Zoom. And for the rest on the other platforms, also feel free to insert your answers in the comments. We'll also give you some more time.
Mm-hmm. I also would like to do it. I've heard most of these things in my life. Do we have people already sharing?
Yeah, I think you missed to add something about writing a bulk of medium articles dealing with those PS.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I mean, you could, yeah, it's a way of coping, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to end the poll and publish the results for you to see, and then we can also see whatever people said on the other platforms as well.
Okay, so yeah, I knew it was going to be the most popular. Yeah, the first one, the most popular with 62% is this feature is on the roadmap because the CEO wants it. I knew it. Then the second one is the B, same as I said. Huawei has this feature, so we should have it too. And then with 54%, product owner versus product manager, lean versus agile. So yeah, and for the second question, the most popular is share it with friends who deal with similar BS. Yeah, I think that's a great answer. Otherwise, you can talk to your cat or your dog or your pillow. Yeah, okay, good. Next time I'll have this as well. Okay, so.
And I think on the other platforms as well, we have, I mean, for question number 1, there's also a majority of people that said answer A, I see. And then, or the others as well. So most of them are common BS stuff they actually are exposed to. And then, yeah.
Okay.
See some of the answers.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, everyone. Let's carry on then. And
everyone.
Abdo gave a very interesting one. So he takes it out on his sandbag, his punching bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets to that point, huh?
Okay, so with that being said, thank you everyone for participating. Let's jump right into today's very serious talk. As I said, I'll stop sharing my screen after I give the mic to Abdo. Stop sharing. Okay, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abdo. I am the Chief Product Officer at Offerista Group. You don't want to know what we do, not important for today. Just believe me, we do a lot of important shit. And I'm today going to talk to you all about product bullshit. Sniff it before you are fed it. Now, fair warning, today is Tuesday. I had a very long day, and I'm sure everyone else has too. And we're in December. It's been a very long year, and we're after work. So just fair warning to everyone. I will be swearing. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to try to be the nice version of myself. I will be swearing. And obviously, I'm not going to try to insult anyone or offend anyone directly, at least. I'm not going to try consciously to do that. However, if you feel that foul language is something repulsive for you or it crosses boundaries for you, feel free to leave. And I will not take it as personally. I respect your choice absolutely and completely. In fact, I would consider that a sign of respect to my choice of swearing in such a forum. Another warning, I'm not a lecturer in class. So this means please take everything I say with a grain of salt and think about it on your own. Also, please, I'm going to make a lot of wild allegations and I would like them challenged. That's basically why I do this stuff. However, let's keep the challenges at the end after we go through the whole thought or line of thought together. Now, if this starts building an image about me that in your head that is similar to this dude here, who's mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore, well, maybe you have not seen half of it yet. Speaking of half of it, or what you're planning to, or what you are going to experience, product people have organized throughout last year and a bit of before, I guess, a lot of very interesting talks with a lot of very interesting and respectable and prominent people in the product management industry working for big companies whose brands are very much recognizable, even when on a screen that is super zoomed out. And I'm pretty sure, or I can suspect that when they bring in someone like me who sits down and says, hey, I'm going to talk to you about bullshit, I think some of you at least would say, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck am I? Yeah, this dude, random dude coming in and speaking about bullshit after we've had someone like Marty Kagan and so on and so forth here. Who are you? And obviously I am going to tell you. In fact, I'm going to come right out of the bat and say, I am full of shit. I am full of bullshit. And this is how it came to be. I spent the last 15 years building and scaling tech products in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa region. I've also worked in community development. Meanwhile, I was one of many on the ground in the Egyptian revolution in 2011 and 12, maybe a bit of 13. And I have believed in the startup dream. I built my own company in Egypt and the Middle East and Arabic speaking regions. It's an Arabic audiobooks app. It was the first mover by far. It was the one with the most traction, with the most revenue, and it has been recently sold to another bigger company, of course. So I have had my fair share of bullshit in different regions and different areas, as you can see. And I'm going to even make an even bigger and wilder allegation. Namely, everyone is full of bullshit. Yeah, I'm full of bullshit. You're full of bullshit. Everyone is full of bullshit. And the reasoning behind this is very simple. We are overfed with bullshit. We are bursting in every different direction with bullshit. There is so much abundance of bullshit in the world we live in right now that there's no way around it. We are overfed with it. Yeah. And especially as product people, product people working in the product world, holy crap, we are in the epicenter of the vortex of bullshit. The pole that we experience here, I mean, I'm going to go through the points and maybe share a little bit of my own stories. Yeah? The feature on the roadmap is here because the CEO wants it. I know of a tech foundation, a very prominent one, who shall remain nameless. They went to their product people and they asked them, hey, we need to increase conversion to increase donations from our website. And the product people said, yes, the data says we should use the prime real estate to create conversions. But the CEO said, no. Prime real estate remains for the blog. Why? Because it's super important. Why? Because his wife said it's super important, while the data says something else. I'm sure everyone has their own version of this, especially that it ranked super high on the poll that we just did. Huawei wants this feature and they will buy big next year if we do it. This is one of my own personal classics. I can, maybe switch Huawei with 5 different customers where a salesperson comes to me and says, yeah, we have this customer, it's super big, they have such a big budget, if we do this, they will sign now. And bullshit. Yeah. Obviously, the most classic bullshit bingo, we need to implement blockchain, machine learning, microservices, neural networks. I don't know, you name it. Why don't we enable paying with Dogecoin? Or everyone has Dogecoin now. Bullshit. Yeah. And the endless debates. Kanban is better than Scrum, or is it a PO task or a PM task? Is it should we go for lean or agile? Should we do safe or less? Which is better? And those scenes where people just debate and argue and fight like football hooligans that are blinded by their love for their team agile versus team lean or team Kanban or team, for fuck's sake, whatever, I don't know. And people just fight emotionally and nothing is rational anymore. And nobody wants to do something, just want to fight. Bullshit. Vanity metrics. You cannot speak about bullshit without, touching on vanity metrics. I really need to, on a personal note, I want to meet the person who invented NPS and really punch them in the face. They created so much bullshit in the world. Don't even get me started. Last but not least, having gone through 2020, someone says mental health is important. That's not bullshit, but mental health is important. Let's do yoga. Nothing against yoga, nothing against mental health. I have my own version of this, but this combination is bullshit. Which brings me to the question, what the fuck is bullshit? How do we define it? Yeah. When we experience it, we can always smell it and we can always feel it. But what is it exactly? No sane person in this round can go through the points in the poll or in the points in the last slide and not call bullshit. You identify bullshit in every single one of them. But how do we define it? And to define it, I would like to paint a picture. Yeah. Namely, imagine a piece of chocolate cake. Juicy, sweet. When you eat it, it's baked to perfection. You taste it and you close your eyes in indulgence. Yeah. Now imagine this chocolate cake has a tiny little piece of shit baked into the batter. Just so tiny, it's baked into the batter. You won't really taste the shit, but you will definitely feel that something is off. And, don't ask me how I know this. So that's bullshit. Bullshit is shit chocolate cake of information. There's some truth, some honest message, something that connects with the audience emotionally and tickles their hard wiring, but it is combined with a little lie or some bias or agenda or ill intentions, or misinformation. Chocolate cake, truth, honest message combined with shit, lie, agenda, and intention. And basically, that is bullshit. Bullshit is the shit info baked into the chocolate cake message. Shit info baked into chocolate cake message. Now, are you grossed out? Is your stomach churning a little bit? Has anyone in the round here thrown up a little bit in their mouth? Well, not that I'm going to say good, but well, I'm sorry you feel this way. However, the silver lining is this is reason enough for us to start thinking, how can we sniff out the shit? Yeah, because nobody wants to eat bullshit, be it literal or metaphorical. Yeah, and in order to do that, it takes me a bit back when I was in the shitty university that I went to. One lecture I attended, the professor decided to switch topics from mechanics to how to sniff out bullshit because of some political events that were happening during the time. So the professor came in, started the lecture, and he said, you know what? In order to sniff out bullshit, you have to act according to the following rules. Don't believe everything you hear and believe half of what you see. Do not believe everything you hear and believe half of what you see. Now, sitting in the audience, listening to this, I imagine you would identify with what I'm saying here. This sounds like nice quote, fortune cookie stuff. Very nice, very interesting to hear, very well phrased. However, how do I implement this? Yeah. How the fuck does that work? Do I believe nothing? Do I go around with doubting everything? Do I doubt my beliefs? Do I believe only things I can see? What about what I can, touch? What the fuck? Yeah? That was exactly my feeling when I was listening to this, and I imagine maybe you share this feeling as well. Luckily, not going to leave you hanging, just as the professor did not leave me hanging back then. Namely, what you need to do, you need to transform your mind into the Sahara Desert. Not just a desert, but with a little bit of something extra added to the desert. Namely, transform your mind into the Sahara Desert with a safe in the middle. The desert is the doubt desert. It's the area of doubt. And the safe is the area of certainty. And whenever you're presented with any type of chocolate cake, be it bullshit or regular chocolate cake, you place it in the desert or the doubt desert, the area of doubt desert. And then you let the desert do its work on it. And when it's done, and you are sure this is not bullshit, you can lock it in the safe and treat it as information that you can trust and you can handle with some high degree of certainty. Now, why is the choice of desert as a metaphor? Well, I am from Egypt. Egypt is practically a desert, so it's close to the culture. However, the desert has two things in great abundance. One, the sun. And I'm not talking about the sun that you experience on the beaches of Mallorca or in the Mediterranean somewhere, the one that gives you nice weather and you can bathe a little bit and tan a little bit. No. I am talking about this beast. The sun that beats down heavily on living beings in the desert. The sun that pushes dead corpses to disintegration. Yeah, that creates bones out of dead corpses of animals and plants and stuff. Yeah, this beast here. Also in abundance in the desert is sandstorms, sand and sandstorms. A sandstorm strips everything from its bling. If you leave a bunch of broken glass or shiny objects in the desert, come back in a few weeks after a few sandstorms, they will be completely out of shine. They will be flat, matte. All of their sharp edges will be gone. And those are the things I like to borrow from the metaphor of the desert. The sun beats down on things, breaks down things to its basic elements. Yeah? When you get a piece of chocolate cake, a piece of bullshit, first thing, let the sun do its work. Break it down to its basic elements. Then strip it from its bling. There is always a component of rhetoric, dramatization, showmanship, and then there is the substance. Even I am using rhetoric, showmanship, dramatization right now, and you should apply it. Yeah, and that's where the sand comes in. So when you get a piece of bullshit, place it in the area of doubt, desert. Let the sun do its thing. Let the sandstorm do its thing. And then when you're sure there's no shit in the chocolate cake, you can move it into the area of certainty. Now, this seems to be a bunch of theory, like a new framework or model. Yeah, and we're all product people. We work with frameworks and all model and all this bullshit all the time. So let's put it to the test. Let's try to use it a bit. Yeah, the classic example where you have the world's best manager come up and throw a bunch of brands saying Rewe, Nike, SAP, IBM, Kempinski Hotels, the UN, and the Pope are asking for this feature, and they will ship. They will sign tomorrow if we ship it now. Yeah, you have this message. Okay, chocolate cake, potential bullshit. Let's put the sun and sand storms and sand to work. All right, let's strip it down to its basic elements. This dude wants a feature because there's merit to it, maybe, or this dude, being a classic salesperson, I've been a salesperson at some point in time, he or she wants to scapegoat their sales failure. They want to find a scapegoat for not having sold or not having reached their sales quotas. Yeah, stripped down version, they want a feature. Done. What is the bling? The bling is a bunch of brands. His energy. All salespeople come with this salesy positive energy. You know them, yeah? They really rely on this. This gets to people. This is dramatization. This is bling. Okay, buy. Maybe he has a strong title and he's using it. Yeah, this is the bling. I identify it, neutralize it. Okay, what do I do? Very easy. Bring it back to the facts. What is the business case? Yeah, you've thrown around a bunch of brands. On a scale of, I've had lunch with a buddy of mine who used to work at Rewe and said, yeah, this might be interesting, all the way to there's a contract now being signed by Rewe or SAP or Kempinski or whatever, and there's a condition to implement this feature, and they will pay us $500,000 now, yeah, or euros now. On this scale, where does every customer stand? Can you show me the sales pipeline? Sales pipeline has opportunities, it has every size of them, it has probability, it has the stage. Are we just early talks? Are we sending out offers? Yeah. Don't throw around a bunch of brands and say, yeah, that's happening, and expect me to, oh my God, brands are, no, that's bullshit. Yeah, I don't care. So break it down. He wants a feature, strip it from its bling, don't care about the brands, show me the numbers. And then we talk. With all good intentions, yeah, with, you know, assuming the best of intentions, giving the benefit of the doubt, show me the facts, we move forward. No facts, fuck off. Very simple. Easy enough, but I know, yeah, what the fuck now, right? Little old me, drowning in shit. Yeah, Abdo, you're a CPO. You have a certain position in a company, yeah? There's a lot of power distance, and you cannot expect this from me, a junior somewhere in the company with, I don't know, 5 different levels of management that I have to report, right? You can definitely not expect me to kind of be able to do this. Well, I hear you, and yes, it's not easy all the time. However, as junior as you are, you can call bullshit. Yeah, I've had my bullshit called out a few times, and I took back my suggestions. And calling out bullshit is an art form of itself. Yeah, maybe product people would host me for another talk, and I can talk about how to call bullshit, but that's a completely different story. It's an art form of itself. But yes, I understand. Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on this because it makes sense. I'm not going to bullshit you. Yeah, sometimes you have to say, you know what? I know this is bullshit. You, as my counterpart, know that this is bullshit, but I'm not going to fight you because it's not worth my time today. As product people, we have to really pick our fights. Yeah? We're fighting and mediating fights every single hour of the day. And we have to pick our fights because we'll waste our energy if we don't. So this is also an option. I have to do this. Yeah, I don't call bullshit every single time. just recently, we were sending out a statement, about a certain situation in the company relating to customers. And I found the statement completely full of shit. And I told the people, listen, guys, I know this is bullshit. I'm telling you this is bullshit, but I'm not going to fight you because you know what? You're handling the customers, and you will have to deal with this. Or sometimes when you have to implement a feature that you know will never bring value to the customer that's asking for it, but we're doing it just to appease their ego. So basically, and this happens all the time. I mean, recently, last week was one of those. I told the salespeople or the account manager, listen, guys, let's not bullshit each other. We're doing this because this is a big customer for us. They will not get any value except having their egos polished a bit, except that they are going to feel that we are doing something special for them. And we know that, and you know that. Okay, so let's call it what it is, which is bullshit, and everyone is happy. And sometimes you don't even have to voice it. Okay, but under any circumstance, do not eat the bullshit. Always be really aware of it. Pass it through the desert first, and then decide: do you want to call it out, or do you want to skip this fight because it's not worth your time, or this is not the fight you want to go through right now? Very important. Don't eat the bullshit, because at some point, not at some point, but remember, everyone is full of shit. Everyone is full of bullshit. We are going to be continuously overfed with bullshit. All of us are at some point in our day, this person here, full of shit, like standing knee deep in bullshit. And you have to identify what is your tolerance. I'm not saying let everyone run you over. No, I'm not saying just deal with the bullshit and everything's bullshit, like nihilistically. No, I'm saying everyone should be aware of their tolerance. I can never have the tolerance of this gentleman here in the picture, and I commend him because he does a job I cannot do. But at some point in time, you will be mad as hell and you cannot take it anymore. And then you have reached your tolerance, and there's something to be done about this. And usually it's something drastic. But bottom line, be aware that bullshit is happening. Don't eat it. And if you remember one thing from this talk here, don't believe everything you hear, believe half of what you see, and beware your tolerance of bullshit. Now, having said that, and seeing the engagement that happened on the poll early in the talk, I would like to, with coordination with Effie and Mansour, of course, I would like to actually know about your own stories of bullshit. Or obviously, if you have questions, I'm open to answer them as coordinated usually by Effie and Mansour. But also, if you have stories of bullshit that you want to talk about, you can talk about them in the mic, in the chat, in which way form you like. Or if you want to share strategies on how you deal with bullshit, be it funny or not funny, gladly. And that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Abdo. It was a great presentation, really entertaining and insightful. I would ask you, okay, I'll share my screen again. Okay, so now I'll invite everyone that is watching us live to formulate and share your questions in the chat or in the chat or Zoom or any platform you're watching us from. I'll start reading the questions shortly, but first, while you're typing your questions, I'll share a few words about product people, starting with the use cases and scenarios in which we feel we are really good at. This would be when a company gets funded and needs to grow their product team, or the product manager is going on parental leave, or is simply leaving the company, because especially in Germany, the hiring processes are really long and tedious. Also, when a company has temporary initiative that requires urgent attention, And if a company would like someone to assess the product team or processes just to make sure there is room for improvement. Here are some positive feedback from clients. If you want to read more feedback from our clients, you can always visit our LinkedIn profiles. And we have here our team. It's a really diverse team. We are a remote first company. So most of us are actually in different countries, located in different countries within Europe. We will be hiring from January onwards. So if you're interested, please keep an eye on LinkedIn and join. And if you have friends or you know someone that could be interested, also refer them to our main channels. I would like to say as well that most of us in our team, we come from different backgrounds. So some of us, we didn't even have a product management experience, but product people give this opportunity to a lot of professionals to actually transition and be great product managers. So coming back to the questions and answers, I hope that I have given enough time.
Yeah, Effie, there are 2 questions in the Zoom chat right now. I don't know about the other channels, but you tell me how you go.
Yes, let me check. Okay, so we have a question from Andre. How to deal with CEO bullshit when there is no quantitative data and poor qualitative one in order to make some product decision. Basically, when it's all about gut feeling, and should this be some kind of red flag?
Yes, this is a very classic situation. I'm gonna give you the straight up answer. Is this a red flag? Yes, it's a red flag if there's no sign of willingness to change. At least this is, in my book, a red flag. You know, people don't change that easily, even if they want to. If there's no desire to change, even like, you know, acted desire, or just, you know, putting on a show, yeah, we want to be data driven, and yeah, we shouldn't do it. Yeah, if this is not even there, this is a red flag for me. I would give it 1, 2, 3 chances and, you know, tackle it head on. If nothing's there, then there's a mismatch in how we work. And for me, this is a red flag.
Thank you. So how would you address these if you...
Yes, that would be the second part of my answer. How would I address this? I would lead by example. Yeah, it really depends on the person. It's more of handling people's biases and people's fears and people's own method of handling shit. And I would think about the person and what convinces this person. Yeah, is this person very rational? I will use rational arguments. If this person is not rational, as probably like more emotional than rational, I will use stories. Yeah, here is what, you know, if he is saying, I have anecdotal evidence saying, yeah, but when I went there, it was like this. I tell him, okay, I went there, Mike went there, Julie went there, Misha went there, and we did this, and we found the other way around. Yeah, I personally, if someone is not responding to rational data and facts, and, you know, responding with just weird anecdotal logic bias, I play to those biases. I had an experience, and maybe the person with whom I had this experience is listening. I don't know, but, you know, I had this experience once saying, yeah, listen, our feature to localize the users is shit, and our competitors is really good. Look here, when I go on the website, they localize us good, we localize them shitty. I say, yeah, but that doesn't prove anything. Yeah, that's just one data point. Yeah, but you can see here, okay, you know what? Here I go on the website from the other side of the world, and it's still you know, the performance is the opposite. You know, that's not a, you know, that's nothing rational. This is one data point versus one data point. Like there's no logic whatsoever, but the argument was resolved. Yeah, if someone has some logical bias or is acting based on logical fallacy, and we're all, excuse me, we're all prone to this. Yeah, I'm prone to this. You're like, we're human beings. That's how our hardwiring works. Yeah, then ideally you play for it. But if it turns out to be more deeply ingrained in someone's ego or whatever, then there's no way around it, and then it becomes a red flag. So it's really case by case thing.
Okay, thank you.
Andre, did I answer you? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, cool, thanks.
So we have another question. How do you manage your emotions when dealing with BS? I guess.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because I mean, I deal with it according to my own personal biases and my own sense of cynicism a little bit. Yeah, where I generally don't take myself very seriously, obviously, as you can definitely see. And I don't take a lot of things that people take very seriously. I don't take them seriously. For example, you know, I work in a company that works more in the retail tech / marketing space. Yeah, so at the end of the day, we sell campaigns. So at the end of the day, if someone fucks something up, yeah, no one will die. Yeah, it's not like we're working in the ICU in a hospital and we're over, you know, the hospital is overflowing with COVID patients and one mistake means one person's life. Yeah. So basically relax. Yeah. I also deal with it with a lot of empathy. I know personally that I'm full of shit, yeah? And I openly admit to it. And it's not a gag. I'm not saying this, you know, just kind of part of the story. I genuinely believe I am full of bullshit. Yeah. So you know what? Sometimes if you treat it as a game or as a dance, it softens the blow a bit. Yeah. And there's a certain power to being aware that, okay, this is bullshit. Yeah. To really recognizing, I see the bullshit now, and to be able to handle it as such and not take it seriously. There's a certain power to it. And it also takes the edge off of the emotion of it. Obviously, at some points, I am super outraged by the level of bullshit being thrown at me. Yeah, there's no arguing there. I'm not going to say I'm super zen and I know I reached enlightenment or whatever bullshit I can say, but you know, there are some strategies that you can do that takes the edge off a bit, yeah. And obviously, the more you are exposed to it and are aware of it, the more it's normalized. And by normalized, I don't mean it's normal and acceptable, but I mean that its effect on you, its toll on your emotional well-being is really, really toned down. Yeah. I mean, right now, if a developer comes to me and says, I give them some task or whatever, and they come to me and say, no, this is not possible because blah, 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 blah. And they start talking about efficiency and refactoring, and the system is built like this. Okay, fine. Finish your argument. No problem. In my head, you know, there are bullshit alarms everywhere, but finish your argument. And then I'm going to, you know what? Okay, all of this bling aside, give me the cold hard facts and we take it from there. And as soon as you zoom in on this, it helps you even, you know, put the emotional thing on the side, because it's not an attack. You know? It's not like you need to fend stuff off. You're gonna just parry and move on. So I hope those strategies help you, Sue.
Yeah. Definitely, it's practice as well. We have a question from YouTube from Luis. And do you recommend the use of product roadmap voting as one way to deal with BS?
Voting on the product roadmap? Yeah,
it says product roadmap voting.
Yeah, I would need an elaboration on what you mean, because I don't want to make assumptions and it could mean a lot of different things. So if I don't even...
If you could elaborate a bit more your question while we...
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, we ask another one and then we come back to it. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned picking your words as a way to deal with BS. What would you recommend or suggest as a good way to decide what word to pick on? That's from Sergio from YouTube.
This is really a case-by-case thing. I mean, how do I pick my fights? I generally pick my fights based on the impact that the fight will cause. You know, is this a fight that directly contributes to what I want to achieve, to my top priorities? Is this a fight that will, you know, break a certain pattern that I'm suffering from for a long time? Is this a fight that I am actively pursuing, or is this part of a series of fights that I have to kind of pursue to achieve a certain goal? Am I trying to inflict some big change, and it's this, you know, inflicting or, you know, causing this change will only be done through a series of fights and I just have to endure it? Or is this something random just passing by because someone got pissed off about something super stupid or whatever? Yeah. I don't have a mechanism of, you know, or a framework of picking fights that I could share with you right now. It's more of a, I don't know, you know, case by case thing, or, you know, being an aggressive person, you start to kind of get a good feeling which is a fight that you want to go through, or which is a fight you can skip. Also, you know, how winnable is this fight? You know, can I win and reach something? That's also usually a factor, thinking out loud. If I speak in any more structure about this, I would be definitely bullshitting, honestly.
I don't see we have more questions.
There are more questions maybe in the chat, in the Zoom chat.
Was there a time you thought something is BS and it was a mistake from your side?
Yes, of course. I was faced with one of the limitations in our system, and I said, this is bullshit. This limitation is bullshit. Like, no, this limitation is so absurd, I cannot believe this is the case. And I challenged it, and I was proven to be wrong. I mean, the limitation is still absurd, but it's there because of historical reasons. It has grown to be there, but it is there. And then I shifted my position. Okay, it's not bullshit, but we need to tackle it somehow. And yes, I believe you, it's not a quick fix anymore, that we can just remove this limitation. It's deeply ingrained in the systems. And therefore, the next move was to put this on the OKRs of the company, to kind of, you know, push for that, to really remove this limitation, because it was insane. Yeah. And limitation itself is super uninteresting for this forum. It's just a technical limitation, but I thought it was bullshit. I thought the people were bullshitting me, saying just no, we just don't want to change it because we like our systems like this. But apparently, no, I turned out to be wrong, and I said I'm wrong. And yeah, cool.
Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
I think there's a question on LinkedIn. Let's take it. So it comes from Amr. He asks, he says, it is not that easy to spot the shit from the real deal. For example, that salesman would be prepared with replies to accusations of the situation as a scapegoat of his failure, and still he might show some progress with the potential clients. What makes the feature worth it or not? So sales is definitely important income to startups, especially that it can keep them alive. So how would you handle the situation with someone who backed his bullshit really well?
Yes, that's part of, you know, it's a skill. Yeah, it's a skill to apply the desert to the bullshit and really sniff it out, and you have to practice. My personal go-to tool with sales is, show me the business case. How did you come up with this number? Yeah, and I promise you, 7 times out of 10, like I'm choosing 7 really consciously, 7 times out of 10 people go away and never come back with numbers. I even, most of the time when sales come to me and say, hey, we need this, and this is a big customer, and okay, what do we stand to gain? What do we stand to lose? I mean, you're a salesperson, you're working with offers and numbers and revenue day in and day out. You have a pipeline. Yeah, you're saying all of your customers are asking for it. Show me the pipeline. Show me the opportunities that you have on the line that are hinging on this. Yeah, and let's talk. And if you want me to help you build the business case, I swear I do this. If you want me to help you build the business case, I will build the business case with you. You just bring the data. And 7 times out of 10, they say, okay, and then they disappear. 3 times out of 10, they come back with some data. We work on it and we decide, yeah, maybe there's truth to what they're saying. Yeah, I'm not ruling out that there are people who are asking for this. Yeah, it could very well be the case, but it's not always the case. Yeah, and to be able to figure it out is, zoom in. Let's look at the cold hard facts. Don't try to sell me on your idea. Let's look at the cold hard facts. How much money are we standing to make? You're saying many customers, big brands, okay, big budgets. This is super quantifiable. Let's fucking quantify it now together. And I will help you because I want the best for the company. I mean, if we stand to make shitloads of money because of this feature, of course I will do it. Of course I will push for it. Yeah. I'm not here to create features for my own liking and appeasement. It's a job. This is my job to create, features, push for the implementation that brings in money to pay the bills, pay my salary, to create profit for the company. Yeah, that's why I have a job. Yeah, I'm not building things for my own enjoyment or based on my own bullshit in my own head. No. So if we align this, if you're able to show me that this makes sense, sure, do it. And I'm even open to help you to convince me that this is a thing. But if the facts show otherwise, then with all due respect, please fuck off.
All right, thank you. He asks, oh, okay, so he said, thank you. I guess you answered this question, but he also asked, can you name this skill? That was a follow-up. Amr is asking, can you name this skill?
Yeah, the skill to sniff out bullshit. Okay. How do you sniff out a call bullshit? I don't know. I mean, never named it. I never needed to name it. I don't know.
Okay, so while we're at it, I'm going to take one more from LinkedIn. This one is coming from Iman. She's asking, product managers, and especially in the Arabic region, are a rare breed. How would you build a solid product team with this challenge? What background would be the best for someone to grow into the position? UX, QC, engineer? Yeah,
I mean,
a little off topic, but yeah, if you can help.
I wouldn't build a product team around the skill of sniffing out bullshit. There's a lot of other skills that are very important for a product person, and I'm pretty sure the talks by product people contain a lot of insight on that. Today we're just focusing on this specific skill, and I mean, coming from the Arab region has is very wealthy when it comes to bullshit and the variety of bullshit. Yeah, so I would say to Iman, this is you have a good chance to identifying different types of bullshit and developing your own strategies of dealing with it. Is just, the desire to do so is the first step. And having the awareness that bullshit can come from everywhere and anyone is a big step. Don't underestimate it. And it is one skill in your repertoire that has to be there, but it's not like the one and only or primary skill or the skill that I would build a team around, if I understood the question correctly.
So Iman, I think you can let us know if that answers your question. And before we take another question also from Iman on LinkedIn, maybe Afi, you want to take another one from elsewhere?
I have another one from her. So
there's a question by Amelie and I think Nadia. Yeah, sorry, I'm overzealous.
Yeah, we have another question from Eman, right? She says, building data-driven products is ideal, but collecting data is slow, challenging, and expensive. What other perspective should we look into than data, and that can also be valid, like competitor analysis, user feedback, UX audit, etc.?
Yeah, I struggled with statements like this a bit. Collecting data is slow and difficult. Sometimes is a statement. I'm not saying that this is your case, Iman, but I'm saying what I'm trying to say is sometimes it is an easy way out. Yeah, and sometimes it is. I've heard this so much, and I've encountered this where someone says, and I ask them, okay, what is the data that you have behind this? Say, yeah, there was no data, there was no real data to kind of talk. So we're making just the decision based on whatever. Yeah. I usually don't accept the statement that easily. Yeah, there's always some data where you can start and build a business case, even if this data is not directly related to what you're trying to do. Yeah, or even if it's not this little piece of data that would validate your model. Make an assumption, make a business case, make some model or like some calculation, and then start validating or invalidating every part of your assumptions that lead to the final number. Yeah, there's something I generally do when I help people build business cases. You know, okay, you're saying a lot of customers. How many customers per month do you think roughly? Is it 2? Is it 10? Is it 100? Let's say, okay, then, you know, when you start giving numbers, people start having, okay, no, it's not 100. Oh my God, no, maybe 5. Okay, 5. And then, okay, of those, are those like the 1,000 euro customers or 10,000 or 100,000 or 50,000? And then when you start making things concrete, start building your assumptions and you start building your case somehow. And then at the end with calculation, you can find a number. Yeah? This is if you have zero data whatsoever. Yeah? Of course, all of those are assumptions, but when you have this structure of calculation, you can go out and say, okay, you know what? After trying this out for a few months, yeah, it's not 5 customers, it's 10 customers, or it's 2 customers. And yeah, I thought maybe a customer would pay 5,000 for it. No, they will pay maximum 500. So here's the update to the business case. Yeah? In the case where you don't have any data, this is what I do generally. And I try to kind of benchmark and use pinpoints here and there. But I strongly challenge the statement whenever it's given to me. Yeah, there's no real data to kind of support my claim. Yeah, I don't buy it. You have to really convince me that there is no real data to support your claim. Perhaps even using data or facts. Yeah? I don't know how, but just that's on you. I'm sorry. So that's, I'm not saying that this is your case, Iman. I'm not trying to judge or accuse you of anything. I'm just explaining my personal experience with similar situations. In your situation, you may very well have very little data, in which case I would recommend making assumptions and building it as if you had the data, and then look at the final results and see how does it feel and calculate back and forth until you find something. But otherwise, it's too abstract for me to give you any more concrete help.
Great, thank you so much. We have in the chat, in Zoom chat, would be great to have a follow-up on how to call bullshit out and how to communicate and make others see this. Do you have some recommendations on this?
Yeah, that's a request for product people. You guys and ladies decide whether you want to do this or not. And if yes, I'll be happy to organize something, of course. Bullshit seems to be my favorite topic, as you can see.
Perfect. Then we will leave it for the next event. Great. So I don't have more questions.
No, there are questions before this one.
Yeah, I think there's one from Nadia asking for tips and tricks to actually bullshit others if you need to. I mean, yeah, got to know both sides of the trade, right?
Yeah, of course. Play to people's biases, you know, play to their emotions, use stories. Anecdotal evidence is a major tool in bullshitting others. You know, people just respond. This is our hardwiring. Yeah, we respond to stories. We respond to anecdotes. That's why myths are a thing. Yeah, that's why you know, legends travel through generations and millennia. It's because people respond to stories. Like it or not, believe it or not, it is the fucking case. It is a fact. You know, I personally, when I look into sharpening my own skills related to presentation, communication, I look into this, you know, storytelling. One of the most interesting books I ever read, you know, it's the topic is super interesting. The writing is very, very heavy. It's called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And it basically dissects how myths come about and why they are effective. Yeah, super interesting. And You can also, another, the flip side of it is another one. It's called The Psychology of the Crowds, or Psychology of the Masses, by Gustave Le Bon. And it's about how the masses lose all rationale when they become a mass and they become manipulated. Yeah. If you want to bullshit people, there you go. Anecdotal evidence, stories, play to their biases. It seems to get the job done.
All right, thanks. There's a question from, Amelie's question. Yeah, she said that it might have been covered in the discussion, and I think it did somehow. There's just one final question we could take really quickly from YouTube. So Tan is asking, you've told that depending on the person, more or less rational or emotional, we have to adapt our argument to. I'd love to know how we can train to understand people better and handle it. Thanks.
Yeah, there's a shitload of courses and material out there that you can start dabbling into. I'm a bit how do you say it bluntly, black and white, old-fashioned, old school-ish when it comes to those kind of materials. One book I have read maybe over a decade ago and had committed myself to read it annually. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Super old book, written maybe beginning of the 20th century or something like this. But it really has the simplest, most basic concepts described and told in a very in form of stories and examples that really illustrates the point. This would be a starting point for me. Yeah, looking into motivation, what motivates people. There are different ways of motivating people, or finding out what motivates people. That's also a topic you can look into. You can look into emotional intelligence. Again, I'm books oriented, not really online courses oriented. So I can tell you the most classic book is Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. Yeah, that's, if you just write emotional intelligence book, Daniel, Google will spit it out, in the first 5 pages of results, Daniel Goleman. Yeah. It's a lifelong learning process, how to deal with people. For me, I invest significant time in reading about psychology and handling people and intelligence, how the mind works, how the psyche works, how emotions work, blah, 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 blah. But this is my own preference. Yeah. I believe personally that as a product person, this is part of the craft. You have to be able to handle people somehow, even you, including yourself. And I believe this is part of your craft, part of your, this is the trade basically. And there's no one size fits all solution. There's no one trick that will get you just from 0 to 100, but you can get pointers from every single person. However, one thing I can definitely recommend is that you stay true to yourself. Like, the last person ever you should be bullshitting is yourself. If you are able to maintain this, and trust me, it is definitely not easy. It's fucking hard. Yeah. If you're able to maintain this most of the time, then you're on a good track to growth and learning in almost all directions that you can imagine or desire. Yeah. Bottom line, materials, I recommend How to Win Friends, Influence People, Dale Carnegie. I recommend Emotional Intelligence, EQ by Daniel Goleman. Read those, and then they will open up different topics everywhere, and follow the journey as it takes you, and don't bullshit yourself.
Perfect. Thank you so much for everything.
I will write the titles.
It was a really fun presentation, but at the same time, it was really insightful. So it's great. So to wrap up, we don't have any more questions, right?
Yeah, I'm just going to write in the chat the books that I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence, Daniel Goleman. I think it's written like that. I mean, Google will spell check it for you. So exactly. Thank you, Ibru. Thank you very much. Exactly. Yeah, those are a good start. And then you can go after the join.
Great. So thank you so much, Abdo, for the presentation, and for Mansu for technical support. And I would also like to thank everyone for joining us on different platforms and Zoom for all your participation, questions, and the poll. I hope I can see you next time. On January, we will come back. So if we have a meetup page that you can join so you don't miss out on our next events. We have also a chat on Telegram, and if you like our talks and you would like to support us, you can go to our Patreon. And yeah, that's it for tonight. I hope you have a good evening or afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you so much to everyone.